This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. Would you say this describes you? You have some dreams, some aspirations, but kind of gave up on them. It just seems like, I can't do that, not attainable. Or you feel that you've got a lot, call it talent, call it drive, direction, but it's not bringing you what you really expect or what you feel that you deserve. So maybe you think you're doing something wrong. Or maybe you're not even sure how to navigate life forward, but there is a piece of you that says there's more out there. We're going to tap into that piece of you and so much more, known as your inner wisdom. And it's something that, by the way, all of this backed by science that pilots you forward and can help you create magic in your life if we can just harness the power of this thing called inner wisdom. With her help, we can. And this is what she teaches. This is how she guides you in a spiritual direction. She is Ruth Wilson, and she is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well. And I know we've talked about inner wisdom before. I would love to look at today how you know that you've tapped into this part of you. And even before we get there, can we redefine what inner wisdom is?
Sure, and I refer to inner wisdom, but there's so many different names it gets called. Higher self is often referred to. I like to call it your personal magic, but that can be taken the wrong way. It's nothing but what you are equipped with as a human being. Your ability to be intuitive, your ability to connect with everyone and everything in the universe, your ability to know things, your ability to make things happen. And honestly, it boils down to what creates your reality, or so we're told. It doesn't feel that way to us individually sometimes, but inner wisdom is just the part of you that we all pretend doesn't exist.
Now, you said higher self, and in my circles, friends and I, we talk about our higher purpose. Are they the same or similar?
Your higher self has a higher purpose. Yes, it's all intertwined. And we've all experienced it. It's not really anything too exciting as, well, I shouldn't say that. It's very exciting. It isn't as exciting or as magical as it sounds because we've all experienced it, and we've called it coincidence or wasn't that a wild experience, but we've all had the situation where we knew something we shouldn't know. We created something we didn't think we could create. Everything lined up, all the stars lined up so that our project worked out just perfectly, and we don't quite know how we did that. We meet the person that we are quite sure we've known many, many times before, and we just kind of blow it off and say, okay, well, of course, I didn't know that person before, and I don't know what happened to make that project work out just right. But we've all experienced it. We've all had amazing healings when we didn't think we could get well. We've all had, great success when we didn't think that we were going to come through like that. So it's not really anything that we haven't experienced, but it's something we should experience more of the time. And it's something that we don't experience enough. Like you said at the opening, some of us walk around feeling like, I just can't quite get it right. I had a client who told me, I just don't do relationships. I just can't have them. just can't make them work. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. You're a human being. We all do relationships. You're a wonderful person. Why wouldn't you? Or people who have failed at a certain process over and over again and think that they're doing something wrong, and in truth they're probably just not using their full intelligence as well as they could.
So when we have things that derail, like in the relationship example, I've heard that many times before. Men and women, hypothetically pick a woman, and she may say, I'm not doing these relationships anymore. It's always the same kind of guy. Aren't any nice men out there? They're all the same. My male friends say the same thing. Women are crazy. Like, it goes back and forth. Do you think it's the subconscious that is, and the challenges that we have in our subconscious from childhood, that is drawing, or we're drawing those people to us without even knowing we're doing it? We're sending out that energy to them, and they're picking up on it and showing up. Do you think that's what's going on in those situations?
Very often. We all have some kind of baggage or wounding from childhood that
Sure.
makes us consider that we're going to have the same results every time. And we struggle all our lives to get over that, to fix it, to change our beliefs, to change who we are. And actually the way to handle it is not to change who you are. It's to work with who you are and work around some of that baggage and use your internal magic, and know that if you use your magic properly, if you use your intuition, if you take the right actions, you're going to attract somebody who isn't exactly like your father or your mother, and you're going to get different kinds of results.
So we all have that going on in us, in our subconscious, things that we experience as kids. I'm not talking about major things, although they can be, but you got that. So that's a given. How do we make the most of what we got by tapping into our inner wisdom?
Well, first we have to believe that we have it. And I think the first thing I do when I work with somebody is to get them oriented to who they really are. You're really a sacred human being. And I have people take a step back when I say that sometimes, but it's the truth. We're sacred human beings. We have the ability to create. That is very powerful. And when you start seeing yourself that way, it's a little bit easier to take on some of the magic that you own and use it. And when you start seeing that magic work, you begin to be convinced that maybe you can create what you want.
So let's go on the goal of finding the right relationship or relationships. Maybe we're looking for that perfect person in our world. Man, I probably shouldn't use the word perfect. The one that aligns with us, supports us, that you're soulfully connected to. You're looking for that person. Mm-hmm. How can you achieve that by using your inner wisdom?
Well, first you can define what it is that you're looking for, which is always a good idea.
She's right here on my vision board, right over here.
Okay.
along with everything else, not just that. That's one little section there. Yeah.
Then it's important to visualize what it is that you want. And in the case of a relationship like that, I might have you visualize 2 or 3 different ideas of how that relationship would go, because relationships are big.
Sure.
And then what I do is very different from most of what you've been taught about creating reality, and that is to look at what's currently in your reality now. What's your current reality? and create some tension between what you have and what you want. And that helps you program yourself to sort of a downhill roll towards what you want. Some tension that pulls you like a rubber band toward your goal from where you are now. Does that make sense?
So I want to go back to finding the tension in between what you have now, your reality, and what you're really seeking. Can you define that, the tension?
It's not easy, but I'll try.
Okay.
For instance, if I want a partner who is just so much fun, and I'm currently just separated from a partner who was so much not fun and made me feel horrible all the time, okay, I might draw a partner by just being positive, who's so much fun, and I'm not ready for them because I'm still relating to that past partner.
Sure.
But if I go where I am currently I'm here. I'm kind of ready for this. I'm kind of not ready for it, and I have to feel better about myself, and I'm not quite sure how to do that. But if I say I'm right here, and I want to meet that partner who's so much fun, then I'm going to bring the whole concept of me where I am now into the reality of a partner that's so much fun. I'm not going to pretend that it's different than it is. It is what it is, and I have to come to the picnic, so to speak. I have to get ready for that partner.
Is this something that could be done in short time? Like if you just adopt that mindset, and maybe if you've been on a journey and the right people haven't shown up in your life, and you're starting to realize that here's the reason why, because you're piloting from your subconscious, to tap into your inner wisdom to bring you to the people that you want to be with, or that person. Does it take a lot, or is it it's going to be a process? You got to work through it or work to it.
That's a big question. It's a loaded question, and I'm not sure how to answer it. I want to say yes. Sometimes it's amazing how quick and easy everything is, and other times it takes a while. Other times you have a lot of things that you need to tweak or think differently about, or so on. Also, a lot of us are not trained really well to see ourselves as creators. And the more you get experience with that, the easier it gets and the better you get at it.
So that's something I have to imagine, that you help people have that realization and to walk that journey with them. Because a lot of this, we're not really sure. It's maybe you're just starting to learn, starting to figure these things out. Maybe the connection to your past is what's showing up in your present at the moment. What do you think would be the starting point? Would it be even just writing down, who am I? And what my values are, and just make that tangible so it's not like in your head bouncing around all over the place?
What I like to do is to actually practice that as an experience. I like to get my clients to experience being a sacred human being. And some of that can be done by functioning from the heart space instead of the head space. Some of it can be done by practicing that every day. It doesn't take that long. I have found that if somebody practices, being in their heart space for 7 minutes a day, it's like, that's not very much. And they change radically. And the reason they change is you're not really changing. If you're in your heart space, you have heart space. You're in it all off and on all the time. It's not something that's new to you. It's just something you're learning how to get comfortable with. You're learning to lead with a different kind of intelligence, really.
Well,
so
it seems, Ruth, that, when you're leading from your heart, it is your core. It is who you are, as opposed to leading with your head, where it gets watered down, the messages get mixed up, things get in the way, subconscious comes into play. How do you connect with your heart on that level that you just described?
There are a number of ways that it can be done. If you're a yogi, yoga is very nice for that. If you're not a yogi, you don't have to be. You can just focus your attention on your heart and feel your heart and be in that space instead of up in your head talking about what you did last Tuesday. So a lot of it is just feeling that heart space. I like to do an exercise where you maybe put your hand on your heart to keep your attention there and imagine you can breathe in and out of the heart. Or imagine that you can feel the energy going in through the front of the heart and out the back of the heart. And because there is really energy doing that, when you go to feel it, you sense it. And then you'll tell yourself you didn't really sense it. But that's okay because it works. Once you get into your heart space, you have heart space. It's real. It works. And you'll find that you're in a different frame of mind. You feel better. You function better too, I would dare say.
It's funny as you're describing that, the word energy was popping up in my head. And I'm believing that everything has an energetic vibration to it. Mm-hmm. So even those things that you think about from your past, that relationship that didn't work out, as you think about it, you're attaching, or it's giving you a certain energy from it, probably a lower one because it didn't really work out the way you wanted it to. And now you're sending that energy out to other people that are like that. And now they're going to show up. So if you come from a place of your heart, I would imagine it's, pure, beautiful, elevated in terms of energy. It's almost as if the heart filtered all the garbage out, and this is the good stuff inside. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It's kind of like that, except that some of the garbage isn't really garbage. It's just stuff that happened to you, and it feels like garbage. We don't want to attract it again. But part
well,
of
you know what?
that
That's a good point. That's a good point, because when we look at that stuff that maybe not be so desirable, it's a learning experience too.
And it's part of who you are.
Right.
So if I want to attract somebody and I'm over here feeling like I'm not very attractive or something like that I need to come from there to get to the place where I can have a relationship and do right by the other person. And the other thing is that, I've been taught that maybe I was left out in grade school or something. And so I have this tendency to feel left out. Well, instead of reacting to people, I can use that tendency to make me understanding and kind and loving.
Well, to your point of, let's say, that situation being a part of you, or even that relationship, there was good from it. It may not have ended that way, but you don't start a relationship with somebody expecting to either get hurt or it not going well, and all of it. There was good. So you focus on that, take that from it. Even situations, you have a job, I got fired. Well, it was good at one point, else we wouldn't have taken the job. I don't think we look at that. We gravitate toward the negative on it.
It's not viewed that way all the time. And honestly, when you lose your job, you don't want somebody to tell you it's really the best thing. But I look back at when I left my last job and the way the situation was, I didn't want to leave, but it was kind of the only thing I could do. And now I look back and I think, thank God that worked out that way.
Right.
I would have worked in that job forever, and it would not have been good for me.
It's funny when you look back at that. I was just thinking similar today. I've only left one job where I was laid off. Only happened once. And I didn't even put it together and this was years ago. This was 2008, right around that territory. And it was financial. Things were changing. And as I'm walking up the stairs here today, I'm thinking to myself, oh, you know what? There was big financial stuff going on at that time. I know it wasn't me, But even there's more of a reason why that happened because there was things going on, stock market crash and all that kind of stuff. And I love that job. The commute was hellacious. And I was overqualified for it. It was a job in between. So I'm thankful that happened that way, because then it opened the door to other opportunities and kind of pushed me to do things that create things, which is what I did, which I never would have if I was just hanging into that job. So yeah, there's a lot of good in it.
Take different action too. That's part of what I coach in my spiritual guidance is we're on this planet to take action. We're not here to sit and wait for things to drop in our laps. I would like it if it did, but it hardly ever works quite that way. And it really helps to learn to use your intuition and know what action to take. And that's where getting in touch with your higher self can really help you follow the correct path. Take the right opportunity, try something. Sometimes it tells you to do something that seems really off the wall, and it turns out beautifully. And it's not quite the problem solving we were taught in school, but it's way, way, way more effective. So it gets to be really fun when you learn how to take action and balance it with vision.
There are some at this point in time that believe that this is the time to take action. If you believe in astrology, science, even Chinese astrology, been around for thousands of years, still talking about it. This is the year of the fire horse. And what does that represent? Bold action, taking some risks, endurance, moving things forward. Do it now. Don't wait. So maybe this is the universe's sign for all of us to, yes, use the inner wisdom, use your creativity, take some action instead of just leaning back or staying safe, which is what we all try to do. Nobody really loves change, but nothing's going to change if you stay there.
Yeah, or it'll change in some way that you don't influence very much. Which may be okay. It's hard to say what works and what doesn't work, but I am finding that as we start using our higher self and really relying on our magical abilities, we have, and I mean everybody who does this, have a very nice, satisfying set of experiences. Sometimes they're really small and sometimes they're big and dramatic, but life just feels a lot more fun, and you feel so satisfied when you look around and go, I created this.
There are some things I've created, and I can look back at them. It's a wonderful feeling of accomplishment, isn't it?
It really is. And I mean, I created it the way I want. So now I have, instead of a relationship that's difficult, I have a relationship that's fabulous. Instead of a job that is a problem, I do work that is just like delightful to me. It just feels like I'm
not working,
going out to play.
Exactly.
It's just fun.
Yeah, you offer something free, a course on inner wisdom. Mm-hmm. How can we access that?
If you go to my website at ruthwilson.org, there is a free class which guides you through the different parts of accessing inner wisdom. And there's also the option to get on my schedule and talk to me about how this approach can help you if you want to. And the class is very quick and easy, very simple, all experiential activities. It's I say class, but it's nothing at all like school.
Yeah, it's just amazing that we already have this. We just don't know how to use it. Or maybe we use parts of it without even knowing it, but there's so much more there. And we were born with that intuition and so many other great things. This is how things happen.
And it's really needed right now.
Agreed.
We need to have the power right now and not be victims of a changing world, because it's changing really quickly.
And that even just leads to another thought, maybe another podcast direction. What's stealing your power? You just said the word power. We let things take that from us, whether it's relationships or even our mindset. Thank you for explaining this today and go a little bit deeper in it. And again, it is science. It's backed up by science. It's not just something that we made up. And when you look at all the wonderful things in our world, the inventions and all of that, how did they get here? I got to believe somebody tapped into their inner wisdom to make that happen. Thank you, Ruth. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.